Welcome to Press Play again. Two roommates, one remote. The rewatch podcast where we dive back into the shows and movies we couldn't stop talking about in college, and probably still can't. We're your hosts, Anna and Megan. Two roommates with one remote, ready to laugh, debate, and maybe get a little too nostalgic as we revisit the classics and discover a few new favorites along the way. So grab your popcorn, press play, and hang out with us as we rewind it all, episode by episode, movie by movie. Dawson's Creek.
Yes, season 2, episode 2.
Yeah. So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to see Ella Langley this year?
Of course.
I want to go so bad because I'm so ready for that new album.
Yes,
I
me
can't
too.
stand it.
Me too.
I'm so ready. So now it's just a matter of like, where do we want to take a road trip to? Do we want to go back to Wilmington? Do we want to go to like Savannah, Georgia? Because there's some really cool places there. I mean, Texas. So I don't care.
Oklahoma. All of it.
What's that? I didn't even pay attention to some of the places. I just feel like we just need to choose where we want to road trip.
Yeah.
And like,
just build it out around that.
Yes.
Kind of like we did last time.
Kind of like we did, for sure.
Could be on a greater scale.
I mean,
I think we just need to look up each one, obviously, dates, locations, and like
ticket prices. They go on sale this weekend.
Right. But what else is there that we may or may not want to throw in the mix? Mm-hmm. And then the world is our oyster. We just decide from there.
Gosh. Yep, it's happening.
It's been a long time since I've found a newer artist that's come out that I've just been like, "You're my girl. I love you."
I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah, same.
I'm obsessed with her on stage, but also just in her real life.
Yes.
And her bangs being a mess, and her just waking up, no makeup, crazy sweatpants and Uggs. I love her. She's real.
Mm-hmm.
I love her.
Yes, and I mean, I feel like the closest thing to this was my infatuation with Miranda Lambert. And I'll always have a special place in my heart for her. I am not saying that's gone.
Well, they're connected, so it just makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. But, like there's several others that have hit the scene, and they've been great, but I've just not found that connection. And but there's something about Ella's music, like the actual sound of it, that kind of rock edgy kind of country that I just can't put my finger on. That is just, oh my God, I'm obsessed with that by itself. But then factor into it that she's from Alabama and just all these things that I connect with.
I love her raspiness and just her twang.
And then you throw good lyrics into the mix.
Yeah. Okay, we're going. We're going on a road trip this year.
And I'm sorry, I will stop now, because if I don't, I'll sit here and talk about her music all night.
I'm ready.
Me too.
I'm ready. Okay, our next fictional episode. You want to tell us a little bit about this episode?
Dawson's Creek Season 2, Episode 2, Crossroads. Dawson gets in trouble with Joey when he reads an entry in her diary about her true feelings about his fantasy life of filmmaking. Tongue tied for a second. Meanwhile, Dawson is so self-involved with repairing his love life that he forgets Pacey's 16th birthday. And as a result, Pacey, who also failed his driver's ed test, I can't talk or read, who also failed his driver's ed test, decides to throw himself a peer party bash with a little help from Andy. Jack McPhee, who is Andy's older brother, gets a job at the Ice House restaurant, which Bessie runs. Meanwhile, Abby Morgan begins to become a negative influence over the lonely Jen by taking her out carousing for guys and drinking. Also, Gail confides in Grams and Mitch with a friend about their troubled marriage.
Whew.
Yeah, some of that was painful to watch.
It was. Some of it was painful for you to read.
Yeah, that was painful to read.
Okay, so this episode aired on October 14th, 1998. It has a popularity rating of 29 out of 128. Wow. And an IMDb user rating of 66 out of 128.
Okay, that tracks.
Now, overall, we're only 2 episodes in, but I still am on upwards trajectory, so to speak, of
Okay.
season 2 compared to season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a hope that
Yeah.
sparks in this one. But we, however, open up with the most awkward opening scene that I
Mhm.
think we could possibly ever open up with.
Yeah.
First of all, the TV is on an infomercial about sausage and
Well,
making your own sausage.
it's a 2-in-1 machine that can make sausage or pasta.
So, I mean, stay up late and you never know what they're going to be advertising on TV to sell. So, Joey and Dawson, though, are not watching. They
No.
are making out, rolling around on his bed.
Mm-hmm.
And you just know something's about that.
Yeah,
I mean, they're 15-year-olds.
How stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They have the TV turned up rather loudly. Like,
Yeah, they
it's
do.
just asking for it. Mitch and Gail come in, that creepy, weird hand coming over the TV. That was just a weird choice.
Too much.
It was a weird choice.
Too much.
And Mitch turns the TV off, and we see Dawson and Joey, like, both turn and look at the door. Still intertwined
Yes.
with each other. And all I could think when it flashes back to his parents is like, Gail. Well, first of all, she wears some of the slinkiest stuff.
Oh, I know. They look like they've been in the act themselves.
But number 2, her hair is so thick.
Yes.
It is literally like a lion.
I'm jealous.
It is so thick and so big. And it's
Mhm.
like a coarse.
Mm-hmm.
It is a lot of hair.
Yeah, it is.
A lot. I just don't know how she sees out of her peripherals straight on with her bang. It is
any time in her day to do anything because it would take her forever to dry it, much less style it.
Yeah, awkward opening scene, I will say, and it was
I mean,
the
they
quickest
look just
one.
as horrible. Yeah,
Yes.
it was the quickest.
It was
but
the
they look
quickest.
just as horrified.
Mm-hmm. So after the credits, though, we roll right into Pacey in his driver's ed class.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been driving for the past few months, obviously with his permit that you're supposed to be, that you're supposed to be driving with an actual licensed adult with, but he's also been driving the cop car
that's my point.
He should not be driving,
and the family car,
and that he like hotwires and borrows because it's family. But he's finally taking his actual driver's test, and we find out he fails
by one point.
1 point.
I feel that, especially after last week.
I feel like it tracks with Pacey. It's like he can't ever even just get one thing. He fails yet another thing. And he tries to bribe the instructor because it's his birthday. Yeah, because it's his birthday, and he tries to use his job to bribe her. She doesn't go for it. She does wish him a happy birthday though.
Yeah.
So we're in this solely to know that it's his birthday. That's our way of finding out this is Pacey's 16th birthday. Fails his driving test. So he's already in a sour mood. And that's what I kind of noted with him. He was in a cynical, sour mood this entire episode.
Yeah, he was.
He had a reason to be, I will say. But it was just like, man, this is a downer personality for him. I don't like it.
Mm-mm. No, it did feel slightly valid, and especially as the episode unfolds.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But this scene I noted, like, I thought his hair was better.
I feel like it looks like he's just had it cut and it's in that awkward,
the fresh.
Yeah.
I feel that way about the color of it. It's like, man, it's really still the color hasn't settled. Yeah. I mean, I've never had my hair colored, so I can't like speak from experience.
That's the truth. I mean, like mine right now, I had it done last week. I'm in that it takes about a week to settle out phase.
Well, I'm ready to see him kind of settle into his fictional cuteness. Okay, so I'm gonna gloss over because I don't care to spend too much time on the whole Mitch and Gail giving the sex talk with Dawson and Joey.
No,
they're going back and forth, giving them these talks, and I honestly, Gail, if I was Joey, I would be like, you are not the one that I will be
Exactly.
taking advice from.
Well, that's the way I read her face when Gail tries to offer her the book to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Was you're the one trying to talk to me about this?
Yeah. It's very, I mean, she has, I mean, in the last episode we saw her sister having this somewhat conversation with her, and it's like she has somebody in her life. She doesn't need you to do this. You and your husband can talk to your son. She's not your responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I get like she's been there and they have known her since she was little too, but I still just felt like it was not their place. It was
Mm-mm.
not Gail's place.
No, I mean they're responsible for Dawson and what he does.
Yeah. I mean, I
To some
cannot.
extent, like that
Yeah.
that's their domain. They can focus on that. Um Quite honestly, let's not forget what Joey goes home to every day.
Yeah. A
Like,
baby.
you don't think to some degree that there's not some part of this. Now granted, they're teenagers and all the things that we've already talked about in other episodes, but there's a lot there to unpack that Joey is more aware of than the average teenager, in my opinion. And anyway,
I mean, I can only imagine. I had guy friends
Mhm.
that I hung out with all the time in a strictly friend way.
Right,
I just
same.
mean I was close with their families.
Hmm.
So this is where I'm getting with. I cannot fathom.
Oh, not at all.
Even if we had entered into a relationship and their parents were the ones trying to tell me, have this talk with me and give me advice, I would have been absolutely mortified.
Hmm.
And I can only imagine that my mom probably would have been like, excuse me,
Hmm.
what? That's
Hmm.
not your place. Which, different situation. Bessie, Joey didn't go home and tell Bessie that this happened, blah, blah, blah. But still, I just felt like it was stepping over the line and it was not Gail's place at all.
Mm-mm. No, I think it does speak to the fact that they do kind of view her as a daughter that
I
they
know.
never had to some degree, but I still don't think that that excuses them overstepping that line or those bounds.
But you know what? Mitch has had this same exact conversation with Dawson multiple
Hmm.
times. So at some point, switch it up, change up the approach if you don't feel like he's listening. I mean, I don't know. It's just, you can't keep having the same conversation just because he switches girlfriends.
You know.
It's not working. Or it is because he's not actually doing anything, but it's like, I just don't. The parenting of them is not,
It's not strong.
it's
It's not good. Yeah.
below, yeah, it's below par right now.
It kind of has been since the beginning. Let's just
Oh,
be
yeah,
honest.
for sure. Um,
Ugh.
it was just very uncomfortable. But
Mhm.
what stood out the most at the end of that scene when Dawson and Joey walk off and Mitch and Gail are standing there and they have this whole back and forth about being clueless.
Mhm.
I don't know how I felt about it because it's like they go back and forth between feeling like they're normal,
Right.
but then they remember that they're really not normal with each other right now.
Right.
Then him saying that about, have we ever not been clueless or something, and her face says it all of like, he's talking about my affair and what we're going through, and I'm like, I would not have taken it that way.
No, I was trying to connect dots there as well because I was like, what other kid do you have or that you're working on that
Yes.
none of that made any sense.
No.
It makes me wonder if there were any deleted scenes that never got, or like if there was something else that the
Mm.
writers were referring to that just didn't convey.
I
Because
know.
I
I
think it
I
was,
think it was supposed to be about their whole, what they're going through in their marriage, but it just didn't track. It didn't.
no,
That's not what I. If I was in Gail's shoes and my husband, who I'm having issues with, said that to me, I don't think that I would relay it back to what
no,
we're going through. I don't know. Never been in the situation. Can't say
yeah,
definitively, I guess,
neither can I.
but watching it on screen, I didn't.
Even facial expressions didn't
Mm-mm,
solidify any of
mm-mm,
that for me either.
no. Um. Okay, so we go to school, and Pacey is having a little altercation with his bicycle because he's mad. He's failed his test, and Dawson walks up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it does not matter how many times we have these scenes with Dawson, it will never not shock me how self-absorbed he is.
No.
I tried to remove myself once again and think about if I was in his shoes and that had just happened to me the night before. I
Right.
obviously would want to go and immediately talk to my friend about it.
Sure.
But I'm also the friend who remembers people's birthdays.
Mm-hmm. Or better yet, can read the room and the situation, and clearly something is off about Pacey right here.
Yeah,
Like, hey, dude, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like that would have been a simple question.
Yes.
To consider asking, but no.
But yeah, I mean, Dawson does ask him, like, he says, I failed my driver's test, and Dawson makes a joke of, well, you better be nicer to your bike. But then he immediately changes the subject to about himself.
Right. He's not observant at all.
No, he's not at all. But Pacey says, today, he repeats it over and over, today of all days.
Yes.
Today. Dawson is still not picking up on it. And that's when Pacey realizes, my best friend.
This is a lost cause. Yeah, we're done here.
My best friend has forgotten my birthday.
Yes. And I know it's a later scene that, he's explaining to Jen that his family doesn't really care much about birthdays or
that's the very next one. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But that, Dawson's always made up for that. And, that really stinks.
Yes.
And especially if you're having a bad day on your birthday and you're counting on that one person to pick it up.
Yeah. And Pacey has his faults, okay? I'm one who usually puts him on a pedestal, I will say. But he is a good friend. Like, even with his faults, he still supports Dawson in just about every ludicrous thing.
He has no choice but to.
I know. But I just think of Pacey as being a thoughtful friend who is there for people in subtle ways. And like, I mean, even just like he late in the end of the episode, he says, like, I want you to be happy. I'm glad you and Joey are together. I want happiness for y'all. He does. He really means that. But at some point, he also wants somebody to look at him and recognize and see him. And I just think that is one of the hardest things to navigate. You and I have talked about this before recently too, of like being in a friendship where you feel like you are giving 110%, but it is not being even remotely reciprocated, even 10% reciprocated.
Right.
It's really hard and it's exhausting.
It is.
It's so exhausting to be the one that is remembering all the things, that's checking in, that's asking the questions, that's and some I am grateful for friendships where you don't have to communicate every single day to know that the friendship is still good and solid. I'm grateful for that because it's exhausting.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. I have enough things sometimes going on right in front of me, much less a job or anything else, to constantly be babying a friendship of some kind, much less a relationship.
And I think too, like, it also goes to, you've got to know the friend. So you know the personality of the friend and know that it's not an intention. Like you may not text me back for 4 days, but I know that that's not you just ignoring me. It's you literally just either, and I'm getting that way where a text message, I don't want to send a text message back. I barely want to read it. So like, I'm getting that way. So I know that that's your personality of you just have all these other things.
Well, and two, especially if it's a let's say it's a serious conversation. I don't want to flippantly just send a response. Like, I want to be able to take the time to process what you've said and respond thoughtfully. And sometimes juggling that and everything else is just, and it doesn't help that when your job literally revolves around working off of your phone, it's like, okay, I'm done with the phone today, and everybody else has to be done too, because I just gotta check out from the phone.
Sometimes the thought of sending a thought out,
it'll overwhelm
long
me.
Text message back that, not like faking the thoughtfulness or whatever, but just having to process it and send something back that is thoughtful, that is intentional, that's genuine. I just sit there with my phone and go,
I know.
and then I forget that I
Same.
haven't.
I've
So
done it.
I think knowing that personality
Yeah.
of your friend is important. If you don't, it's easy to take it personal. It's easy
Oh,
to think
sure.
I've done something to make them mad.
Right.
And I think that's where the pressure can come from of like needing to keep up the friendship. That's where the exhaustion takes over.
Yes.
And a little bit of like resentment can like
Oh, trust me.
root itself in there.
There's people that I've personally had to, not to their face or to them directly, but personally had to say goodbye to, because I wasn't able to keep up with them the way that they demanded.
I thought about you, I won't say a name, but like friendships in college.
Yes.
I think I thought about you this
even
week actually.
after college, and like in the last, I mean, it was years ago now, but it was years after the fact, trying to reach out and even just make contact and apologize yet again, just because that still sits in the back of my mind somewhere. From time to time it comes up, and I'm like, people that can't allow people to be people, to live life, to all the things,
Change,
yes,
grow.
if you literally can't, if you're that rigid of a person, I don't want your friendship anyway. I still pray for them.
Well,
but
yeah, and sometimes you outgrow friendships. Like
that's a totally different, that outgrowing that was not.
But if you have changed in a completely different way, where the rigid personality or the needing to check in all the time is just like not good for your own mental health.
Right. It's a guilt factor, because you feel like you're feeling guilty. You've got to check in with them to maintain something. Life is too short. I'm so sorry. And yes, I want to talk to my friends. Yes, I want to see, I want to hang out, all the things. But life is too short to get that upset and that wound up. So I need low maintenance friendships. Doesn't mean that we can't do high maintenance things together, or that we don't.
I mean, I'm pretty sure a podcast is pretty high maintenance.
Well,
you know what I mean?
This isn't like.
No, I don't mean the friendship. I mean the high maintenance things. This would be considered that.
Well, I don't. This doesn't feel that kind of level of high maintenance.
A lot.
It can be, but it's still that doesn't feel like. I don't really know where that came from, but all I'm getting at is, I just personally have found that I prefer to surround myself with people that, and we don't even have to be in the same phases of life, same seasons of life. Just if you need more than I'm able to give you, and it's not something that we can't figure out, I'll talk to you, or I'll see you when I see you. No offense. It's just, it's the way it's got to be. I don't have time or extra bandwidth to do anything else. And half the time, I'm not even remembering to take good care of myself. So, you just got to pick your battles. And I'd rather have friends that are the same way.
Well, I think that Pacey has hit a breaking point in his friendship right now, and he's just realizing I have been that person where I realize I'm the one who's given everything.
Yeah.
And that's where he's at right now. And it's just hard. And it's one day out of the year that he just expected his friend to make it about him instead of about himself.
He even misses his driver's test by one measly point.
Yeah. I mean, family, now his best friend, who Dawson this is not a new personality trait, being self-absorbed, but he's always still put his friendship pretty high up, I feel like. Or even if we haven't necessarily always seen that, Pacey is telling us that has been the case.
Right.
He has always made his birthday a priority.
Right. The standard previously has been.
Yes.
And today it's not.
Yes. And it's not even just because Dawson has a major life event happening. Because honestly, it'd be different if he just found out about his mom's affair. That'd be a little different.
Yeah.
Or if there was a death, a tragedy of some kind. That's a little different of like birthday slip my mind kind of thing. Got a little, but just your parents walking out on you and your girlfriend. He's just tired of hearing the drama between Dawson and Joey all the time.
I know this sounds ugly too, but it's kind of not news to him.
No. And he even says, your life is not that dramatic.
Yeah.
It's not that important.
Yeah.
These things are not that important.
No.
And I appreciate him finally saying that. And actually, I think he says it later on.
He
but
does.
Jen is honestly the first person, other than the driving instructor, Jen is the first one to tell Pacey happy birthday.
She is. But there was an interesting factor to this scene, and it's at the very end.
Uh-huh.
So I don't want to skip too
No, go
much,
ahead.
but just, Jen's over here filling that gap for Pacey.
Mm-hmm.
But guess who gets left empty handed? Jen
Yeah.
herself. Which, I mean, we know that's an upcoming theme to be expected, but still, it was a semi-classy moment of Jen in a way, but yet semi-not for what she...
Because it still somehow worked its way back around to how Dawson also is forgetting about her.
Correct.
It's like, girl, you just moved here.
Yeah.
He's moving on from you because you were in a relationship. That's different. He has still stated he wants to be your friend. You are not capable of being his friend at this moment.
Right. And she suggests that Pacey should forget about Joey and Dawson since they forgot about him. And at that point, Pacey sets out to start his own, or for his own storyline.
Oh my gosh, that was a great line, actually.
Yes, it was.
I don't have to be Dawson Leary's sidekicks. I'm going to go get my own storyline.
Yes.
I loved that.
Yes, I did
that
too.
was good. I feel like that might have been on some message boards or something, and the writers were like, you know what? Got it.
Yes. It's kind of funny to think about how much I feel like in some ways some of these writers kind of hate Dawson's character in some ways, but
it's great. I know.
Oh my gosh.
Did they really know that the audience?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, were people vocal about it back then? How much they couldn't stand him? I just don't know. I don't know. But anyways, I noticed in this scene too with Jen and Pacey, once again, Pacey calls Jen out on her true feelings.
Mm-hmm.
He's done that in the past few episodes.
Yep.
Where she's like denying how she feels about Joey and Dawson and all this, and he's not letting her get away with that. He says, "No, you don't." Or no, you're not. Like, she says she's happy for him, and he says, "No, you're not."
Yeah.
I like that he doesn't sugarcoat it. He's like,
right.
You're not getting away with this with me. Like, I see it. See straight through that bold-faced lie.
Yeah.
So I like that he is consistent in that. That to me though is another good friend quality because he's honest.
Sure.
He's able to be honest, even though she's technically a new character in their lives.
Technically,
a new friend. It's been less than a year that they've all been friends. He's still very honest with her, brutally honest.
Yeah, he is.
Because when you're trying to pretend you don't have feelings for somebody, even though it's written, jealousy's written all over her face. When you're trying to pretend, but somebody is like, you're lying.
Yeah.
You still like him. Quit. It's like, please let me just pretend a little longer. You don't have to say. You don't have to call me out.
I know, but I still feel like Abby when she says it out loud, she's like, God, why?
That is the only thing I like about Abby in this episode is when she said her face contorts into this disgust.
God,
why? When Jen says that she wants him back.
She's still in love with him.
Oh gosh, it was great. That was one of the best interactions.
I cracked up.
That was a good one. But okay, so Abby and Jen.
Yes.
We've been introduced to Abby, but at PE they have this conversation
talking about New York,
and Jen just kind of pumping up her stories and her time in New York because Abby is goading her and is telling her, I don't believe some of the things.
She's deliberately insulting her, and all of that is strange to me.
Yes.
And yet Abby is trying to brag about scoring this letterhead from her doctor to get out of the PE classes and making up some diagnosis and blah 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 blah. It's just all that's so strange.
Here's what I think about this friendship. Because in the beginning, Jen is annoyed, like, why are you even talking to me, Abby?
Sure.
She still doesn't like her from season 1. But then when Abby is asking her about her time in New York, trying to get her to talk about the different boys and her experiences there and the clubs she's been to when she was 14, keep in mind, that's when it changes, because Jen realizes that this person is actually interested in what I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of higher up in the
It
hierarchy with
makes her
this
have some
friendship.
cool
Makes her
factor.
feel important.
Yeah.
Because she feels really not important when it comes to the whole Dawson Joey situation. So she needs somebody to make her feel cool again, the most popular again. I mean, because Joey's kind of replaced her in that a little bit. In that dynamic, at least.
Right, at least that circle.
She feels seen, even though it's by a
Abby.
monster.
Yes.
Basically, I wrote the start of a very terrible, ugly friendship.
Yes.
She feels, it's weird. It's weird. So the meat of this episode is really about Dawson and Joey and the journal. So they're studying at Joey's house, and she says she was gonna write down they have this conversation about you. He says that he knows everything about her,
and that he loves that.
And he loves that. And she says, "You don't know everything about me."
Yeah, that he can skip that part.
They don't have to have the whole getting to know you awkward. To me, this relationship, we've said this is nothing new, but this relationship is rooted in the past for him. It's built off of the past.
Well, it's what he thinks he knows everything about her that he cares about knowing.
Yes.
It's what he wants to know about her. He doesn't actually know everything about her. He just.
But you know what? Even when he finds out something he didn't know about her, it's really still about him.
It is.
It's still always.
But it hurts his feelings.
Yes. So he reads her journal. She gets up to go take care of the baby that she's babysitting, her nephew. He reads her journal. It's not open. It's laying across the bed. It opens to a random page.
Yeah.
And as a little bit of an OCD person, I'm like, why are you going to the back?
Or that bothered me. Why are you not going to the most recent entry if you're going to do anything?
True. But he just opens to a random one, which we find out later it ends up being around the time of the show beginning where he's filming his movie and she's in it. And she writes some pretty honest opinions.
Yes.
That was the same time that Jen had come into the picture, though.
Sure.
And so I'm jumping so far ahead, but I just can't help myself. She says, I liked her response to it all.
Oh, me too.
Okay, let's back up, because whoa, we fast forwarded way too much. So he reads it. He gets mad and leaves. The next day at school, he tries to tell Pacey about all this, and Pacey's putting up flyers for his.
He's not having it.
No, he's put up flyers. Well, I guess again timeline. I can't figure it out. It's supposed to all be the same day technically, because it's all Pacey's birthday.
Oh yeah,
but it's not the same day.
How did they get to go?
Unless they leave in the middle of the day for lunch or something. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, they have on different clothes. So it's not.
It was. I was thinking it was another day. It didn't even click.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Pacey celebrates the whole week because, I mean.
This is the point where he tells Dawson that his life is not that interesting and to get over himself.
Get over it, because he's putting up flyers. Dawson still doesn't really understand what he's even doing. He tries to tell him that he read something in her journal, and Pacey is telling him, it's as clear as day, like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I got my own stuff happening. I mean, Pacey has lived life in the last season and 2 episodes.
Yeah,
and Dawson is still only worried about his little life. So he I love when he's brutally honest with Dawson about your life is not that important. But Dawson says some of the things that she says about his movie, that it is putrid.
Yes.
And stupid.
Yes. He's a talentless,
oh my gosh,
director or something like that. And,
yeah.
But I mean, okay, like you've already pointed out, timing wise. I mean, I've been guilty of bolstering some very opposite feelings of how I may or may not feel about a subject or someone if I'm trying to build walls or guard myself against some feelings that I may be in denial of. to some extent. Maybe not that extent, but
I mean, I know. Her response at the end of the episode talking about all this was a very, very, I thought, a relatable response and believable. And so, but he just can't help himself. He brings it up to her in a roundabout way. He's like trying to trick her and trap her a little bit and set her up. And when she realizes that he read her journal, she drops that hand quick.
Yes, she does.
And she just is appalled. She's disgusted, basically.
She blows up.
She does. And I don't blame her.
No.
I mean, that is an invasion of privacy. I don't care that you're my best friend. I don't care that, we have been through it together and we're in love. I don't care. That is not meant for you to read.
No.
For him to read. And he does not understand that. He really does not. He is still making it about himself, but this is what you said about me. I mean,
there's a part of me that doesn't understand why the journal was still left out.
Well, I think that she writes lots of things in it, because at the beginning of that scene, she says, I've got to write down what your dad said before I forget it. So she was reaching for a pen, and I think she was going to write in that journal. So I wouldn't necessarily think that it was like a private diary, because that is something that, I mean, it was because she was mad that he read it. But I think she uses it for lots of things, maybe.
I guess.
She just trusted that he would.
I guess. I mean, that's my thing, was if it was that concerning to her, I don't think that I'd have left it. But at the same time, I don't think that I would have been worried that he was going to go through it either. I don't know.
But to him, there was nothing new that he could have found out in there before he read it, because he knows everything about her.
Yes, he smells her perfume and all that mess before he opens it.
And even when she blows up, they storm off. He's mad at her because she wrote these things about him, and she doesn't believe in his talent,
right.
And she's mad that he read it.
He's insulted.
Cry me a river. But then he goes to the ice house where she's working and stressed out, and there's lots of things to be doing.
He follows her to work to continue this argument.
And follows her
around
flag. Yes. He's following her around in there while she is clearly busy.
I don't know how somebody, and I know it's a TV show, and I know it's fictional. It's fictional, just in case we haven't said that. But
these are not real characters.
No.
Public service announcement.
But I'm sorry. If that had been real life, I feel like somebody's dad, and I don't care whose dad or what, somebody would have come up and been like, hey, are y'all okay? Like, you need to give her a break. She's trying to work, son.
Yes. Like, Bessie should have done that, honestly.
Agreed. But if Bessie is too busy, because literally it's a zoo in there.
And there's only apparently 2 people that work there until Jack comes along.
Right. But my point being, I feel like that would not have played out. Not then in real life, and not today in real life, without somebody interjecting at this point, because that was so unsettling to me on like a totally different note of controlling and obsessive behavior. Because that's what that was.
Yeah. Well, and he's not even trying to get her to talk about it to forgive him for reading her diary. He is still defending himself.
Yes.
And mad that she wrote these things about him.
Correct.
It is still about him.
Yes.
I didn't. Sweet Jack, Andy's brother, does start his job at the ice house, and I love his character.
Yeah,
I do.
He's precious.
He's sweet. The party is going on, so Dawson has gone to the party because he needs someone to validate that his feelings are correct and what Joey has written about himself, that he's mad. He has a right to be mad about it. Yeah. So he goes to the party because Pacey's throwing it. Still has no clue it's for his birthday.
Yeah, that's not clicked yet.
And Jack tells Joey she should go because it's their first fight as boyfriend and girlfriend, and they haven't had their first makeup. And so he's being a sweet guy who we barely know anything about yet. But anyways, let's move to the party.
Yeah.
Andy shows up at the party.
Yes.
Again, I love the dynamic of Andy and Pacey.
I do too.
It's so fun, like quick,
Mm-hmm.
and she doesn't get her feelings hurt by the things he says to her, and he like can open up to her.
Yeah.
In a way. That funny comment about some women like younger men.
Yeah.
And he kind of smirked. It was funny.
He's aware.
He knows. But you know what? If they didn't have these little one-off lines, I'd forget totally about the whole Tamara thing.
Oh, sure.
It's so far in the rear view at this point. But
Absolutely.
It's funny when they trickle them in just a little bit so that we remember. But it's still, when I look at Pacey now, I'm like, this is really hard to believe now. I can't. And that was...
You were a bigger baby then than you are now, and it's just, it doesn't compute.
Yeah.
But I loved that when he told her to go mingle, she was like, "No, talking to new people makes me nervous." And he's like, "Well,
clam up."
Right?" He's like, "But you haven't stopped talking since the day you ran into me or whatever." And she's like, "Well, you made me mad. There's a difference." Or you're like,
"You don't make me nervous. You make me mad. There's a difference."
Yeah. And at the end of their conversation, he says, "I wish I made you nervous, McPhee." And that, I like that. I mean, that's cute. That's witty, all the things. But,
yeah,
you know,
it's a cute friendship. It really is.
It is. But, you know, she also tries to pump his ego with the older girls.
I think that I think even this early on, she's a little attracted to him.
Oh, sure.
But she does a good job. And then that goes to the writing. Like, the way her character is written, it's done in a way that it's not blatantly obvious that she has a crush on him. But it's just, she always finds herself around him. He's the only person she truly knows right now.
Yep.
So she doesn't want to go talk to anybody else. She doesn't know any of his friends yet. It's cute. It's cute. She does have a little crush on him.
She does.
But I like it. I love the ending scene with those two, though. When she brings him a little present sitting on the boat.
The Magic 8-Ball.
That she just had in her car because she forgot to give it to her brother at Christmas.
Yeah.
And she says, "Well, go ahead and open it." She does not, she's not shy around him. And I like that.
I do too.
And he opens it. And what does he ask, Magic 8-Ball?
He asks if, doesn't he ask if he's going to pass his driver's test?
And does it say not likely or something like that? I don't remember exactly.
I thought I was paying better attention.
I know.
But
I was mostly...
It says yes to something, and then he asks another question, and that's when it says something else, and then she takes it and then
drops it.
Klutz goes into the water.
Yeah. But I like their conversation. She says it was the thought that counts. But I like the conversation that they have where he's opening up to her. He's honest and he's vulnerable with her. And he says, you know, I just thought I could be Pacey, the guy who throws great parties, because, you know, everybody... And earlier in another scene that we skipped, we'll go back to, but he tells Dawson, he's honest with him when Dawson finally realizes it's his birthday. He's like, "You know what? I'm just now realizing that this entire town has written me off as a joke. My family, teachers, other people at school, but you were the one person who had never done that, Dawson. And then you forgot my birthday."
Yeah.
And we see everything we've been saying about people writing him off. We see he's finally realizing, and it's hurtful to him. And he says this to Andy, like he's honestly, it boils down to it, he doesn't know what his identity is at this point.
No. And you know what he brings up, especially when he's kind of blowing up on Dawson about everything, about how he got the scar on his face, why his dad actually doesn't like him or is mad at him or whatever. And then like he goes through this list of stuff that makes you think, do we know that? You know, because he's saying that, Dawson, you don't know these things about me. You don't even know when I was born.
We don't, which I think points to the fact that this all happened early in their friendship, or like before high school, let's say.
Sure.
So like at another point in their friendship where I mean, that also points back to how deep their friendship goes. They have been friends for a long time,
Yep.
just as long as him and Joey, and he still doesn't know these things about
But
him.
it still just as much points to how self-absorbed
Absolutely.
Dawson is and has always been.
And you know, Pacey knows this about Dawson.
Yes.
This is not a surprise to Pacey, but it's always been where he can joke about it, he can laugh it off, or he can call Dawson out about, like, you know what, we all have other things. This is, again, this was his breaking point of, I have been the one
Yeah.
to support, to listen to the drama of Jen and Joey, to be there when his parents are falling apart. All these other things, other things that we don't know anything about because it happened before the show started, you know.
Right.
But Dawson does not know the basic things about Pacey. And he reached his, it's just so frustrating.
I mean, it would be hard to not, and I know the show wouldn't exist if this was the case, but if I was Pacey or some of the others, it would be hard to not be looking for other friends.
For sure. But, you know, I think this is a important factor to think about. They've been friends for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Dawson's personality, I think, has always been self-absorbed.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not new to Pacey, but he's put up with it, or he's almost embraced it, and like that's just who Dawson is, and in their friendship, because his role has always been Dawson Leary's sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
It's just now where Pacey's like, nope, I deserve my own storyline.
I can be my own person.
I
yes.
can be a main character too, which is what all of us think as well. But
yes,
but it's not like he's just now realizing that Dawson is self-absorbed.
Mm-hmm.
He's always known. It's just kind of been a little quirky part of who Dawson is. Now it's like, okay, it's old. Grow up at some point.
Well,
I'm done.
Pacey's got bigger issues going on than what is rocking Dawson's world right now. And
yes,
like I said, it would be hard to not be looking for other friends for me.
But you know, even though Pacey has every right to be mad, because I promise you, I'd probably be mad more than 2 days if my best friend of 15 years, roughly, forgot my birthday and forgot the tradition that we have every year of like making it big, going somewhere, saying that we're going on a road trip, whatever. I would probably be mad a lot longer. But at the end, Dawson apologizes, and he profusely apologizes. And Pacey's like, you know what? It's fine. I'm happy that you're happy. And it shows Pacey's character. Like Pacey's like an onion. We're like getting to peel back slowly the layers of who Pacey is. And then every so often a layer pops back up and we're like, oh, there he is again, just the goofy Pacey. But we peel it back of like, he is a good friend. He is a good boyfriend. He cares about what the people he cares about. He cares about what they care about. Yeah. But at some point, every onion still wants to feel love too, okay? You know? Like, he's not giving that.
Well, I feel like in some ways, Pacey is maturing and
Dawson is not.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I wrote that about Joey, that we have seen over the course of the past season and now into season 2, we've seen her growth and her blossoming and her confidence grow. And it's the same with Pacey, honestly. And honestly, we've seen the same thing with Jen. Hers is kind of going backwards a little bit. Yeah. But we've seen change in these characters. We see no change with him.
Agreed.
But, okay, Dawson and Joey do make up.
Yeah.
When the rain starts coming down, just one little rain cloud, okay. Now, where they turn and see each other in the middle of the crowd, sweet. Whatever. Dramatic. The song playing though I liked the song playing in the moment. If you came back to me right now, and I don't remember the other, I'd probably give it all up or something like that. It just was a great song for that moment.
Yes.
Of them.
Well scored moment for sure.
Yeah. This is before they have ever even had the conversation. They both are just they've left things where he was following her around the ice house, and now though they see each other, and they come back together. They just
walk
stand
towards
there
each other in the rain.
and just literally stand there, not even arms around each other, just their heads. It's like a dog or something. It's kind of, I don't know. It just felt kind of out of place for the show and kind of out of place for the characters a little bit to me.
I felt like it was just overdone.
Yeah, it was almost like a cinematic drama moment. Like, this is not the teen drama that we're.
No, it honestly it felt very Dawson engineered in some respect. If you think of his overly dramatic, overly wannabe romanticized mindset, but it really was. It was dramatic and honestly, it didn't require all that.
No. The conversation that they finally have, though, where they talk it out, was where she finally says, you know, Dawson, I tell you the truth. My journal, you have to understand, in those moments, that's how I'm feeling in that moment, which is a very real thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's things that I'll even say when I'm in the heat of the moment mad. I'll say it in a text message or in a conversation with somebody, and it's not necessary. I just have to vent, or we have to vent. And this was her way of venting, was putting it in her journal.
Agreed.
She's been pining over him, and here comes one girl getting out of a yellow taxi cab, and he's can't
goo-goo-eyed.
yes, he can't walk straight now, and she's angry. Like, what in the world? I get it. I get it. Now, she probably was being extra dramatic and saying he was a terrible filmmaker and all these other things, putrid and stupid, but that's how she felt.
It was.
And I don't blame her. He says that he can't stand it if she is the one person that doesn't believe in his talent. Gag. Okay.
Yeah.
But he says that he is so sorry. He's so sorry he read it. He'll never do it again. He's only sorry because he didn't like what he read.
Right. And has basically, he's not so much, well, he borderline on berating her at work. Okay. But I mean, granted, like she says, I don't feel like she actually thinks those things wholeheartedly. But, you know, I mean, the only way that this is being resolved or coming to any form of resolution is the fact that she's saying that she doesn't actually mean those things.
Yeah.
Which I'm not gonna get on that soapbox tonight. But I appreciated her line that she said to him that she saves the truth for him.
Yeah.
But
I just don't like who they are together as people. I don't necessarily, not necessarily, I don't like Dawson, period.
no.
I definitely don't like who she is with him.
No.
Because I think that it puts herself in a box unknowingly when she's with him, and this is how she's supposed to be. She's supposed to be only supportive of him. He has not shown her any support in her own life or her own goals or dreams.
Not for anybody.
And in my opinion, he doesn't, even as the show goes on.
No.
Even as a friend, he doesn't do that. He doesn't get to fully embrace who she is when she's with him. And they are both so self-absorbed when they're together. He is by himself, but she becomes that way. Like even them, you've had this monstrosity of a fight with your best friend because you forgot his birthday. But here you are just sitting down on the pier making out with each other instead of going to fix something. I know that's part of just being a self-absorbed teenager, but it's, my gosh, let go of each other for a minute.
Yeah.
It annoys me so bad. It's like, you don't have to be making out 24/7.
No.
You just don't. And that's why I just don't like who they are when they are together. Like,
I think that he's his authentic self, and whether she's able to see it, admit it, or even recognize it, subconsciously, she is forcing herself to be what he thinks she is or what she thinks that he wants her to be. Like I said, whether she realizes it or not.
Yeah.
So I agree. I'm ready for this to pass.
I am too, but the box that she puts herself in, because that's where she is in his mind. As the season goes on, I think we do see her start to get tired of that, because that's not who she is. She
Right.
wants to be more than just what he has designated her to be.
And she has every right.
And when he doesn't grow with that, or get with the program, so to speak, I do think that that's part of what tears them apart.
Agreed.
There's more to it, obviously, but that is definitely part of it. Oh, Jen and Abby. All I really want to say about them, and you can elaborate. Well, first of all, she's real messy. But
we know that
Abby gets her to go to this party because they spend some time in Jen's bedroom talking about all the things that Jen did in New York. And all I have to say about that is that I can't wrap my head around it.
Mm-mm.
And I don't buy it. She moved to Capeside at 15. So all these things that she's saying she did, and granted, okay, let's just say this real quick. It's fictional. I get that. So when I say that she's 15, I know that Michelle Williams was not 15.
Yeah.
And so also when I say she looks like a mature 15, I know that that's really a 20-something-year-old playing a 15-year-old. But no matter how mature you look at 15, a 14-year-old going off to Atlantic City with somebody before they ship off to the military is not realistic, in my opinion.
No.
Or dating the bouncer at a club in New York City at 14 years old.
No.
It is so bizarre to me.
Even if it was something that sort of took place, and I say sort of truthfully, it couldn't have been more than just the bouncer was entertaining this. It wasn't.
Yes.
It wasn't mutually.
Yeah, maybe she's exaggerating somehow.
Well, there's no way that a guy that would have been old enough to be a bouncer is truthfully that interested in a 14-year-old, because they're jailbait.
Yes.
And they're a bouncer.
And even if she looks older than 14, she doesn't look even at least 18.
No.
In real life, a 14-year-old.
Right.
Okay. Let's get off of Michelle Williams, because she technically is. So somebody could say, well, it's fictional and she was over 18, so she did look over 18.
Well,
blah, 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 blah. Okay. A real 14-year-old
storyline wise
does not look 18.
No.
Now, an 18-year-old could look 21. A 21-year-old could look 26. I don't think that you can put enough makeup on a pig to make a 14-year-old look like an 18-year-old. I just don't.
Not that much, no.
I mean, I know 14-year-olds, and none of them can pass for 18.
But it also doesn't lend you to think or believe even that she hid her age to them.
Yes.
Okay, so like that alone tells me that something's off about all of it anyway. It's just, to me, it serves circumstantial evidence of where she's come from to bolster her storyline. And that's all that serves to me as far as the show goes, because it really doesn't add up.
No.
But we already know that the math doesn't math in this show anyway.
No, it doesn't. But so at the party, she's clearly had too much to drink, and Abby's just pumping her full of more, and she dares her to kiss the next guy that walks up, and it happens to be Dawson, and she just lays one on him, and he is appalled.
Yeah.
This is the only moment in this entire episode that I like Dawson. I will say this.
Yeah.
He pushes her off, and in old true Dawson fashion, he would have been like, "Are you okay? What are you doing? Why did you do that?" No, he's like almost disgusted of like, "What are you doing?"
Right.
And when she's embarrassed and runs off, old Dawson would run after her to see what's wrong. He just stands there, and even when Abby is like, "Nice going, Romeo,"
yeah,
he kind of makes a face of like, whatever, and he just moves on. I liked that, because I thought, good, nobody needs to entertain whatever that hot mess is over there.
Exactly.
I mean, they should, because it is a mess that Jen does need some help.
That needs to be an adult's problem.
It does. It absolutely does.
Someone go get an adult, please.
Speaking of the adults, though, Mitch and Gail, and this whole open marriage conversation. Ugh. I'm sorry. What got you into this mess in the first place was someone else coming into your marriage.
Yeah.
So you don't need to open the door to more than one.
You know.
This is not going to end well. This is just bad.
No, I just made a note of, this to that. So you've got Grams over here suggesting that they renew their vows versus some other person saying an open marriage.
Yeah, the contrast is wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, if you're struggling with honesty, that's not gonna help.
No.
Just woof. But I think the other contrast of this is that she is trying to save their marriage with the physical aspect of it
Right.
and with sex, and he is trying to save it minus the open marriage part.
Mm-hmm.
But he's turned her down multiple times in her
Yeah.
advances, so he's needing more than just that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no honesty for him left. There's no trust left.
Right.
And that's what he's needing, which would come from communication and not just the physical part.
Right.
And that's all she is trying to get, because she's finding validation
Mm-hmm.
in my marriage is okay if he chooses to touch me and sleep with me and
Right.
be intimate with me. And he's not. So she knows that something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it's just because you're wanting two separate things and you're not communicating.
He needs to rebuild on an emotional level
Mm-hmm.
outside of a sexual level.
Mm-hmm.
So, because, like, I mean, I've always heard my whole life growing up that the circle of trust is easily broken, but you can't just build it back or put it back. And it takes more than just rolling around in a sack together to fix that.
Mm-hmm. That's what got you
I know.
in the first place.
We did also need to at least mention that, while we've discussed the Abby, God, why moment, as Jen says that, she wants Dawson back, which agreed. God, why? They agreed together
to get him back.
To get him back for Jen.
Trouble
I
with a
am
capital
dreading
T.
that.
Mine too. My favorite line in the whole episode, other than the God why, that was hilarious, but
Yes, it
was with Pacey and Andy when he's saying that he thought he would be Pacey that throws the good parties and all this, and she just says, "Why can't you just be Pacey Witter who's trying to figure it all out?"
Yeah.
I like that.
That was a very
because
poignant one.
she sees him not just for what Capeside has labeled him as.
No, and part of that I think comes with having fresh eyes, of not being from there. So I think that helps him see that there is more to be seen of himself than just what the whole town seems to think, or what he thinks that the whole town thinks of him.
Well, I think too, as we will figure out with her character, with Andy, is that she's not as put together as she puts on.
Yeah, no.
And so the labels that she gets plastered with due to her family or her own mental health or her brother, she knows that it can't just be boiled down to one little label that's put on you. You're teenagers who are just trying to figure it out. Heck, we're adults just trying to figure it out. Like,
sure,
that
you are never not trying to figure it out.
You don't have it all figured out at whatever age you are. Like, our parents don't even have it all figured out, you know. But I love that she is the one that says that to him. That it just really is just their friendship. Oh,
I know it. Now it closes with Dawson asking Joey if she can make it home safe by herself, because he needs to go to Pacey. And ultimately, Dawson promises to Pacey that nothing will ever change enough to change their being best friends, and making jokes about him not passing his driver's test and this, that, and the other. But, I made an observation. Dawson never tells Joey that Jen kissed him.
No.
And there's been this ongoing theme and thread of conversations around and everything around honesty. There's a part of me that felt like, why didn't you tell her?
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't even think about that. I just did.
I mean, it wasn't anything that meant anything to him. I understand that.
Again, to him.
To him.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I mean, yeah, sure, it could stir up its own pot. Not denying that. But there was a part of me that he's been so harping on her and all this honesty. It was just an observation. I don't want it to go down one way or the other. I don't want any part of that.
That's a good point.
But I'm just throwing that out there.
That's a good point.
For the sake of
mean,
honesty.
yeah. Pacey and Joey, no, sorry, Pacey and Dawson, they reconcile and they ride off on that boat that we just saw last episode for the first time.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to not be friends.
Same.
I'm glad that they made up. Because I think that Dawson needs somebody like Pacey that's going to kind of keep him grounded as much as somebody can keep that kind of person grounded.
Dawson needs so much help.
He does. He for sure does. He needs somebody to keep him put in his place sometimes. Even if he doesn't take it and actually apply it.
No, he
He
exhausts
needs,
me.
yes,
Literally.
yes. I mean, that brings us to some red flags, and I will say, if I had to count them, it would be two. Now, a lot of things fit in those two things. One is you forgetting your best friend's birthday,
Sure.
and like all the things that went with that. It's because you're too self-absorbed, and all. Obviously, the self-absorption has been a red flag from the beginning. I'm not counting it every episode. It is what it is. We've counted that one.
We know
You
it's
forgot
there.
your best friend's birthday. That's a red flag for me because that to me is not too much to ask.
No.
It that's a big deal to me. It just is. It's like because I just think in friendships, I know that everybody has lots of things going on all the time, all the time. And the older we get, the more serious it does become. So at 15, Dawson's issue with Joey in this episode, it's not that big of a deal.
No.
At all.
And it would have never happened if he kept his nose to himself.
Yes.
Just say it.
So I will say though that it's easier for me now to give a little grace in the fact when like friends forget something or they, because the older you get, the more serious, issues are your own problems or whatever. Then but I'm also kind of like when it's kind of that saying of if they want to, they will kind of thing. Because I kind of just feel like not to toot my own horn by any means. Even when I got other things going on, I still think about
sure,
my people.
Right.
I'm not perfect by any means.
Right.
Not close at all. I'm not the perfect friend. I'm not even a good friend some days. Like, that could apply to any of us. But
Right.
But even when I got my own stuff going on, so I relate to Pacey and I get why he's so angry. So that is a definite red flag for me.
Yeah.
If you have been friends with this person for that long and
it's hard for that to fall off even your just mental calendar.
Especially like that's something you as teenagers you're talking about. You're about to go take your driver's test.
Right.
So that's something that would be a topic of conversation.
They've also implied that they were planning a trip.
Yes.
Did you forget you had this trip?
Yes, he did because he's only thinking about Joey now. So I mean, honestly, it could all fall under the same red flag of a self-absorption. But the other one would be just the way he was with Joey through this. Again, self-absorption.
That honestly goes. It crests the brink of just being self-absorbed. That's a control factor. He needs her to think and see everything the same way he does in order for him to be happy. Otherwise,
can you imagine being with somebody who is like a creative? I mean, he the director, the scriptwriter, or an artist, or a musician. I mean, like anybody in that creative mindset, when they are creating things, and then you're with that person, that's your significant other. They want you to hear, see, read, whatever it is that they've done.
Yes.
I mean, like, are you brutally honest if you really don't like it? Do you just tell them that it's still good? Like, it's inevitable to, like, you're not going to love every little thing. I heard a podcast with Lauren Akins, was her podcast, and she was talking about one of Thomas Rhett's albums that came out, and she was like, I don't remember half of them. I'm going to be honest. Yeah. People give me flack because I don't remember the singles that went, or I'll say something about have you released that one, and he'll go, yeah, it was like it went platinum, and it's like things like that. And she's like, well, I'm sorry, I got 4 kids, okay?
Yeah.
So I get But she wasn't saying that there's some
No.
that she doesn't like. There are
Right.
some that she likes better than others.
Right.
That's
You're
inevitable.
going to.
Absolutely. Dawson, though, would not be able to handle it.
I'm sorry, but you're brainwashed if you just like everything the same and over the top.
That's what he wants.
Yeah, that's a robot.
Yeah.
No.
That's the box he puts people in.
I know. That's why I just can't go there.
Yeah. But those are my two major red flags with him. Do you have anything before we close this one out? It was a jam-packed one, but do you have a rating? I'm kind of falling off.
Well, I was gonna redirect.
Okay. What's your rating for this episode?
Hurt your feelings, but like last time I gave the best I've given so far.
Yeah.
I'm not riding that high.
Did you give it a 3 last time?
No.
You went to a 5?
I went to a 6.
Whoa! I got to write it down because I forgot.
Yeah, you forgot.
Okay. Oh, and I said 9.
That's what I said.
Did I say 9? This one, what are you going to give? A 4. Okay.
I put 3 or 4, but I've landed on 4.
Okay.
And here's why. I didn't love this episode. I didn't hate.
I mean,
this
still,
episode,
you saying it like that and giving it a 4?
Well, that's where I was coming back to.
That's still kind of
I didn't
big.
hate it as much as I hate season 1.
Okay. I am not far off.
Andy McPhee of it, and some of those factors I can appreciate enough that it still keeps it light. I can go with a 4.
Okay. So I'm not far off from you. I'm going to be honest. I kind of went with an average of 2 here because the whole Dawson Joey part of it, I would give a 4. Pacey and Andy, I could give like a 7. So I'm going with a 6 in all.
Yeah.
Because we're not doing halves.
No.
So I'm going with a 6 on this one.
Yeah.
So I don't judge you for your 4. I don't.
No, it's better than last season.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Even with some of the moments in these episodes, it sure does give us a lot to talk about in our podcast. So I'm grateful for that, at least. We can pick apart these fictional characters and their drama and their need for therapy. And honestly, just their need for adult supervision.
That too.
Ooh,
but the adults kind of need adult supervision too.
They do, and Grams can only do so much. God bless her.
God bless her.
That's it for today's episode of Press Play Again. 2 roommates, 1 remote. Thanks for hanging out with us as we rewatched Dawson's Creek Season 2, Episode 2, Crossroads. If you loved today's conversation, be sure to follow the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and we're now on YouTube, so you can watch this entire episode. Follow us on Instagram at PressPlayAgainPod. Leave us a rating, drop a comment, send us a text message. Follow us on TikTok. Let us know your favorite moments or your least favorite moments. We'll be back next week with more laughs, more nostalgia, and of course, more rewatches. Until then, keep the remote close, the memories closer, and always be kind, rewind, and press play again. Bye, roomies.
Bye.